I mean, first off, I'm just happy that Selection Radio is back. It's been 3 years since we've been here, and the alignment, the timing of this is great because it's been a minute, and I got my man Phabo here, who, so Aquarius came out about a year ago, right?
It did.
Celebration of that. It's been amazing to watch your journey. For me, it's all about timing because we could have ran this interview a year ago, and that's usually how we do it.
That's facts.
But I'm really about trying to align my artists and my people when people have had time to digest the music and when people have had time to really understand the legacy and the story. Right. So for me, I'm doing this at this point in time. You're about to go on tour. You just dropped an EP. I can see the growth. I see the buzz. And to me, that's exactly what I wanted to wait for. Yes. I wanted the people are just finding out about who Phabo is, finding out about Aquarius right now. You know what I mean? And people are getting hip. And this is a time where, R&B is an oversaturation of amazing artists, but it's a long-term game. Who's really unique, who got their own story, who's really moving the pulse differently, who's doing things that aren't being done, right. Who's singing with real emotion, real storytelling, not just talking about the same old. So what's up, brother, man? Welcome.
Man, what's going on, Joe?
How you feeling?
How you feeling? Man, I feel good, bro. I don't think the listeners or the viewers know just how long this has been in the making. You know what I'm saying? From the STEM party where I met you in person the first time to like...
What year was that?
2016 Jeez. Is when I met you. And I didn't know how to articulate my words in a business sense. So shout out to Mars, because he definitely bridged that gap for me.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? I met you, I think Mike Jones was on the radio show at that time. That had got dropped and people was hitting me up. They're like, yo, they premiered Mike Jones, like, and I'm like...
The SoundCloud joint, yo.
The SoundCloud joint, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. So I'm like getting love from like the people that listen to Selection Radio. And I go to a party and I'm thinking it's cool, like, to just, you know what I'm saying, walk up and introduce myself. Initially, that's what I planned to do. But when I got over there to you, the only thing that came out of my mouth was the title of the song. And luckily, Mars peeped that. I'm like, yeah, Mike Jones. You looked at me like, what? What's going on right now? Mars was like, you feel me? This is Phabo. He has a song called Mike Jones. Word. You're like, okay, word. I feel it now.
Yeah.
So
even right now, when you said, I was like, wait, I had Mike Jones on the show.
Exactly, bro.
And that's the same thing, but I remember because, bro, you got to understand, I play so much music, and there's times where I meet people all the time. They're like, yo, you played my song, or you played this beat or this edit on episode, and it was like, I'm trying to think back, and I digest so much music that sometimes I can't put a face to a name until I hear it back, or until there's some sort of correlation. But that was a moment. That was 6 years ago.
Yes.
And at the STEM joint, and now look where we're at, man. And it's definitely a full circle moment.
Definitely.
And how are you feeling, just where you're at right now? How's your mind doing, your mental wellness? How's, just how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good overall. Obviously, it's a real transitional period, going from a writer to artist, making that decision to stay on that side even when people ask you and you want to be like, I'm a hybrid. It's like, nah, you're an artist now. So that transition has been cool. I tell people all the time that, like, knowing how to use your free time is almost harder than having like a set schedule with like 3 given days off, because you know exactly what you're going to do on those days off. You're not going to waste those. But like having free time and being your own boss, and you really, you know what I'm saying, you have to answer to nobody except for yourself when you do good or when you do bad. So just knowing, I guess, how to give myself tasks, finding new hobbies and stuff like that has become the new thing for me in regards to my mental health.
Of music.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm sure when you pop out, it's like the last thing people worry about is how you are. First thing they want to know is like the next episode, or like when's the when's the next link up, or like when, you know what I'm saying?
When's the next project?
When's
you
the next
just
project?
You just dropped an EP. When's the album coming?
Exactly.
It's like people just listen to it in full, and they're like, when's the next tour? When's the next? There's always
the next.
The next.
What's the next? Not the now.
How does that make you feel as an artist when people, when your people, or your supporters, your listeners are demanding that, and you just took the time to drop and release something, and you want to sit with that, you want to be in the present, and they're already demanding it?
Contrary to popular belief, like I be moving along with my listeners too, but also I've learned with Key, you know what I'm saying, my manager, my day to day, he'll tell me like, yeah, bro, go sit with that, like you're tripping, bro, like you haven't even taken time to even process this while you're trying to move on to the next. And I don't know what that is exactly. I'm trying to seek what that is with therapy and things of that sort to understand why I drop something and it's like, okay, cool, I'm off that. But I think that has more to do with like I guess the standard of which people like place my music,
right?
And like this pedestal that they sit it on, because it's for them it might mean something different. I don't want to get caught up in that too crazy. I kind of want to just like move on to the next thing. Because if you tell me that this song saved your granny life, I'm gonna want to make only that. I'm only want to make that type of music. You feel me? And I can't get caught up like that. I can't get caught up like that. You know.
It's also the era that we live in too. Like people,
attention spans is short, bro.
Yeah,
like 8 seconds or something like that. It's like 8 seconds.
Right.
Sorry for cursing. But yeah.
No, you're good. You can let it, speak your mind. But yeah, it's the era that we're in. I honestly feel all across the board, as a creative, an artist, on all levels, the resources are more obtainable than ever. Anybody can start an LLC today. Anybody can start a radio show, a label. Anyone can download, a program and start creating.
1,000. But
it's oversaturated. So it's like, what are we doing to be different? What are we doing to stand out? And so, albums come out. We can catch a vibe and understand a sound palette, but it really is not efficient to be able to speak on. You can speak on something sonically,
right,
on a review. I'm like, I was feeling it,
right,
or I wasn't. But it is tough to say within 30 minutes to an hour, a couple hours the night of, after all these releases came out, be like, good, not
bro,
good.
That was good. That's
right.
The GOAT, the not GOAT.
Right. and that's the era that we live in. Right.
Real quick. So yeah, I'm learning, because I do put a lot of stock in people's opinion on my music.
Right.
For sure. We're making art to be received, digested, all that stuff. It's art. And I'm curious what some people do have to say. Certain minds I do want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of learned to like not read so deep into how people feel about my music over time. But we're here. We live
one thing I gotta say is I like that you're very passionate, and you really care about your art. Not to say that nobody doesn't, but I noticed the way you speak on it. You really believe in it. You know what I mean? Obviously every artist, but I can tell the way you tweet, the way you speak about it. It's important for you to speak that into existence, because obviously there's different philosophies. Some people, you let their music completely speak for them and they just stay silent. But I like how vocal you are. We were talking about earlier how important it is to still promote your music.
Yes.
6 months, a year out, because often we're going back to this era that we're in. We move on so quick.
Yes.
We don't have time to be in the moment because we're already looking forward to the next. What's next? And how important it is that even a year later, we're still talking about your album, So Queers, which is a classic. And even if it's not appreciated, it's not that it's not appreciated, but even if the masses haven't reached it yet, it could be something in 2 to 5 years from now that people come back to be like, yo, I don't know where I was, but I'm finding this moment. We saw it with Monty Booker and Smino.
Shout them out, bro.
It took 4 to 5 years for something that we collectively put out, casually on SoundCloud and on another platform, for free to the world. And it took TikTok, it took social media, it took the youth to find it and to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
So everything has its time. And so we were 5-6 years ahead, and I feel, you know, so Queers is really timeless, you know what I mean? And so the production, the lyrical content, the writing, and I feel like people are going to continue on finding it, but we have the vinyl coming out and aligning this moment with it a year later. It's important. And then you just dropped an EP.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. How are you feeling about your EP that just came out and just constantly still talking about the music a year later?
Mm-hmm. I feel really good. I feel fortunate to have been able to drop an EP.
Before I Let Her Go.
Before I Let Her Go. Being able to drop that a year after So Queers, it was perfect timing. And the timing, I don't even think, to keep it so real with you, Joe, I don't even think we was looking up at the shot clock, bro. Like, I think literally it was 1 second, and we looked up, it just lined up. Everything just lined up so perfect. So, I'm on go so much, I haven't really had much time to really sit with that fact that like everything came around like that. But I enjoy the project most because it's different. It kind of gives you a glimpse into what I'm working on, how I'm coming. Each song has its own personality, and I don't believe it sounds like So Queers either.
It doesn't.
So I hope it like gives people the opportunity to know, like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't get too cozy. Like, maybe we should keep an eye out on bro. Like, we don't know how he's coming.
Yeah, it's evolution.
You know, I take pride in that for sure. Not being predictable, having a predictable sound.
Yeah. One thing about you is that I really feel what separates you is you have the true pen. You're a great writer.
Yo, thank you.
And like you said, you came up writing for other artists. You came through. I actually I want people to really tap in. If whether you're listening, you're finding out about Phabo in this present time, or you're finding this session, this interview, this conversation years down the line because you want to find out who you are. Let's talk a little bit about the come up and just, man, I was reading a tweet. Shout out to Alea for putting me on. Just about your time, you know, doing Amazon Prime, Postmates, you know, doing things, doing that grind and that hustle outside of the artistry to get you to where you're at. And like how you had to stay humble and go through that process to get to where you're at, write for other artists on Atlantic.
Yes.
You know, songs that could have been your hits, but allowing those songs to be delivered through somebody else and let them be the vessel. Yes. How do you feel now about it?
I feel like when I first came into the industry, I was focused more so on being a writer. And it took people telling me like, yeah, who'd you write this for? Yeah, that, bro, you dropped that. It took that.
Can you disclose a little bit about like some of the artists that you've written for?
All right, so cool. So I was actually at Atlantic. I had found a way through Sean Barron and Gary Leon to like get set up over there and write at Traplantic, APG. And so I was writing for Ty Dolla $ign. I was in the Fast and Furious camps with like other artists. Me and Toby Lou was like working on hella songs together, and like nothing really came of it. And so I wanted to take a gamble because like the writer side is cool, but I needed to take a gamble because bread was low and exposure was low and all those things. And I'm naturally recluse online. I don't really post too crazy about my personal life, but I speak on very personal things that bother me in a sense, for sure. And so I ended up taking a chance and dropping the songs that I was doing at Atlantic on SoundCloud. And obviously some of them Sean would get my then manager about, and take that down because this might be, you tripping. And I did that a lot. I tripped.
Did you find yourself very impulsive back then?
Oh, 1,000,000%. What? It was, bro, not only was I impulsive, but I had like 366 followers on SoundCloud. I'm checking every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling my mom, like, look, Mom, I got 367 now. Hey, Mom, she's like, oh, Fabian, okay, that's, But it was cool. We definitely learned a lot through that. Like everybody that was around me during that time, when it comes to like copywriting, when it comes to cease and desist and all that stuff, I went through that, but I knew I was gonna go through that. I knew it. Like I knew that. I know if somebody tells me to take this down, that means that it's reached some ears that I wanted it to reach. And so
you were doing something right.
Yeah, so just dropping the songs that I wrote, and people were like, "Yo, run with that, drop that, run." Like, so I did that, And
Or did all of them get taken down, or you were able to keep some of them?
No, like the thing is, so I'm on SoundCloud and I'm ripping songs. I'm using a little SoundCloud ripper.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a dope beat, like I had beats, bro. What? It's beats that drop like White Roses, and like before Chance got it type shit. And I'm like freestyling on them. It's all on my old Mac, and I'm taking them. But the songs that I did drop, I'm like, yo, this producer's so dope, but he's so out of reach that like the only way I can, because everybody was reaching out to producers on SoundCloud, whatever the case may be, they was getting email. So I had to find a way to reach him. I'm like, yo, if I could drop this right now by DK the Punisher, I dropped this beat. I've never met, bro. He worked with Tiffany Goucher. I love the sound.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Just doing that, and it's like once I get that conversation, I could then tell them, yo, this is why I did that, and they can be like, oh, I respect you. When I tell you, every producer that I ever did that game plan with, we all linked up, we're all like, bro. Mars was the first one for real.
Yeah, shout out Mars today.
Shout out Mars today. I took from Mars. I took from hella.
You work with so many great producers.
We all friends now. It's cool. Like I just followed the North Star for real. Like, that's all it is. My gut feeling told me artists is gonna be like this.
Yeah, you mentioned that the North Star. So what is a North Star? Meaning it's just your intuition?
Definitely my intuition. Polaris is the North Star, but it's your intuition and following that wherever it may lead you. Going against the norm wherever it may lead you. And
I like
you know what I'm saying? It's like it's wilderness, but the North Star right there, and it's like, do we go around?
Mm-hmm.
Do we go around, or do we go through this wilderness to find out what's on the other side of that? And that's where we at right now.
We talked about impulsiveness, which I think a lot of us have. I definitely know it's something I'm still working on. I'm 32 right now, and the impulsiveness that I had when I was younger, it's crazy.
Yes.
Sometimes it worked for me, sometimes it didn't. Got me in a lot of trouble. You know, the tongue is sharp, and so my patience now is a lot smoother. I'm way more contained, I think, before I speak, or I try to. How do you feel about your patience now as an artist and just as a figure now?
I feel like my patience has gotten a lot better. Like there's definitely some stuff I look back on career-wise where it's like I can't get that back for real, you know. Impulsively dropping a project, a EP before Aquarius, which was supposed to be the project. I think it's called Free. Even the title is called Free. Always come with some bush, because I was that irritated with everybody just messing up stuff for me, like stems getting lost. You know what I'm saying? You got stems getting lost. You got sessions getting canceled when I really don't have it to drive out here. At the time, I'm living in OC too. Like, my mom was staying. You know what I'm saying? I gotta figure this out. Staying with moms in OC, driving out an hour, getting there, finding out the session got canceled, finding out somebody like had your stems, lost them, right before you drop. You feel me?
Yeah. It's
so I ended up just dropping up a project like Free. Always come with Bush. I'm on there. You could hear it in my tone. You could hear it. You could hear like, oh, he don't care. And like, there's no structure on the songs, no nothing. I didn't care. And it's like there's songs on that now, like Come and like Make It Big and stuff that are like cult classics for people. And they asked me why I didn't know it was going on the project. I can't even explain as in depth as I did with you right now. But yeah, bro, I look back like I've tripped. I've tripped. And it's funny now because people who tell me about my Twitter, like come out and talk to me about Twitter. And it's like, I don't tweet for nobody. I don't tweet
for yourself.
I tweet for myself, but it might be something brought to my attention. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I said, like you was telling me, I'm like, damn, I did tweet about my jobs at Amazon and Foot Locker. I worked every possible job, bro. Yeah. And I'm tweeting about it, and it's like, but yeah.
Your Twitter was like your diary, you know, in a way that's your expression.
And it's like now people are paying attention to my tweets, and they wasn't before. So now I have to be mindful.
Right.
To like not, or like, you know, the close friends thing. But I only tweet the way I do because it's a passionate thing.
Word.
Am I as passionate if I'm like putting that in my close friends, what I'm thinking? Like, what's the whole purpose of me doing it? I wanted to get out to y'all so y'all know, but it's like I'm not doing it for y'all.
Right.
At the same time, if that makes any Aquarius sense to you.
No, it really does. And I think as we grow, as we mature, for me at least, and some of my friends, the older we get, the more private we get, the more reserved we get. Certain information we choose how we release it and how we say it.
Right.
So I relate to you on that because, I used to fire off some things back in the day, and I'm like, damn, I really said that.
Sometimes you got to let people know, Joe.
You gotta let people know.
Sometimes.
You have to. It's a sensitive world, though, so I try to be.
It is.
I try to pick my battles. You know what I'm saying? But the ones who ride with you and resonate with the words and understand it,
They feel you.
Yeah, they feel you because it's difficult for people to understand your tonality.
Yes.
To understand
Through
expression
socials.
through text, and that's why it's important for us to even do this session because people can hear you elaborate.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, what we say and what you're saying, it's coming from a good place.
Bro, I'm
You know
just
what I mean?
super. I'm just hella sarcastic, is all it is.
Yeah.
Not even on no troll. I'm just like, I be thinking certain things are common sense, and I tweet like that.
Word.
So it sounds very condescending. It sounds like I'm on some but really, I just care about the betterment of the game and moving R&B forward, music forward, really.
Word. One thing that I've been able to have the blessing to come up on is some of your unreleased catalog, and that's only a fraction. You know, sometimes you be iMessaging me some joints from 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
You got so much in the vault. You know what I mean? And how do you pick? You know, like you got that one. A lot of people don't know you're bilingual. You speak Spanish.
I do.
And then what's that one track? Conmigo. That joint. I'm telling you, man. That might have to be on the next. You got to Find a Way or Lucy.
Conmigo is crazy.
Yeah, and then the other joint I've been playing.
I feel like Conmigo. But Conmigo, that's a track that's like so Phabo forward. Like I would need like a shared crew on it. That's the only way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You think so?
I think so.
I love the track as is. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You have versatility and you got to sometimes let things fly. If you ever need assistance, you already know, come to the selection crew in terms of, if you're like, yo, I got these tracks with like...
the HQ, first off, the HQ, perfect for listening sessions.
Yes.
You got like a table about this size, it's like crazy. We just sitting there, we listening.
Yeah.
The ambiance is crazy. You got unreleased, love approved, across the room.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to bros. Yeah, it's like, it's cool, man. It's a cool vibe.
I was just saying, sometimes I feel like as artists, we get caught up in, like, we listen to things so much or we've been seeing something for so long that it becomes redundant or it becomes like, I'm tired of this. But to some fresh eyes and some fresh ears, be like, yo, you got to really do something with that. Sometimes it takes someone outside of management and your team to be like, dog, like, you sitting on a gem. And to me, that's one of those, I'm telling you, we already know the Latin world, how they get down.
Yes.
Like, look at Bad Bunny, look at how he's the top artist in the world. And that just opened up a whole other world. You gotta put them. The people don't know what I'm talking about, but if you listen to Selection Radio, you know what this track is.
That's one.
And you gotta do something with that. And you just got something in the vaults. Also, you also wrote on Kehlani's album.
I did.
You know, let's talk about a little bit about your relationship with her.
Yeah, Kehlani is a true friend of mine. Like really on some organic. Shout out Destin, because he's the one that bridged that for me.
Man, Destin Conrad.
Destin motherfucking Conrad.
He's the one.
Yes. So, you know, he played some of my songs for her. She reached out to me. And mind you, I was working on Venice Beach, like managing like a little weed shop, CBD shop at the time. And my coworkers is telling me that she just walked by with her baby. Mind you, me and Kehlani, we're like 3 degrees of separation in this industry when it comes with, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. So I've always felt like I was gonna cross paths with her. But when that had happened, I was in the back sweeping or something, you feel me? And I'm snapping on my coworkers and like employees. I'm like, yeah, y'all, instead of worrying about Kehlani being on the boardwalk, y'all should really be cleaning this. Y'all should really be restocking right now. That's how I gave it up to them. Because I didn't know why they were telling me that. And she was long gone by the time I came out. So I go home and like, bro, I kid you not, like I go home and I'm just going through my songs. I link up with Key. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write for Kehlani. Like just cause something like that, what happened at work today it was too crazy. I'm gonna work with her. Destin played my songs for her, and it just like
Destin already knew who you were.
Destin knew who I was. Yeah. And
I feel like, especially with writers, correct me if I'm wrong, all the writers, everybody knows it's a small world, right?
For sure.
Like, especially if you're a really great writer.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's also like, there's like communities with them, and we'll talk about that too. There's like these niche groups. Like you got like certain groups of friends that are just so talented, bro, that are all cool with each other. And it's like, what is that? From the outside looking in, I just be looking like,
how do I get into that?
not how I get into it per se, but more so like, what force brought this together for us to all be doing our thing? Because during quarantine, I'm seeing Destin, I'm seeing Ombre, I'm seeing John Doe, I'm seeing Kehlani. And the people who I was seeing then are the ones who are reaping the independent benefit right now. They don't have to go and do all these like, you know, the extra out stuff that like some of these other artists are doing, because we've already been in the gym doing the legwork. Look at Destin now. From when I like met Destin, I want y'all to know he's been working nonstop ever since then. This ain't just like, no.
Yeah.
He's been a star.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's polished now, and like the world is starting to see just this diamond that he is. And so, yeah, bro, I say all that to say, me and Kehlani met through him. And so she had me come through to her writing camp in Vegas. And before she's calling me out to come to this writing camp, I got imposter syndrome so crazy at this time, because the way in which it happened, I'm trying to give away my opportunity to somebody else. So I remember telling her, like, I won't say the artist, but I'm like, yo, why don't you give it to so-and-so? Y'all from the same town. She like, Phabo, I'm selecting you. It was me, Nisha, Trinidad James, Destin. Yeah, bro, it was us, like, on the camp. And I felt like too much pressure. It was my first major opportunity, but it's the opportunity I've been asking for. And so I go to Vegas, which is so crazy. I rode with her to Vegas. So I'm just saying, mind you, she drives like 180 miles an hour. It's nuts. So we get to Vegas in like 2 hours. And I'm exaggerating, but yeah, we get to Vegas in like 2 hours, and I get to work and see what a camp is really like. Endless weed for me to smoke. Like, I mean, all these rooms with these legends. You got Pool, you got Roger, you got like, I'm in here with some hitters, and I'm feeling it. And I'm feeling it, and I'm like starting to go back into my shell a little bit. Cause I'm like, here I am, this is the moment that I've been waiting on. I don't have no hits. Like, I don't have these hits. Roger had the weekends hit on, Roger had the Hills on the radio while we were doing the camp.
Damn.
So it's like, you know, it's just one of those for me where I was just feeling like hella, I had the H&M drip trying to do my thing. And it's like, it's just the, you know, and I didn't get a placement on that project immediately from that camp. So I was kind of feeling like, yeah, of course, you weren't ready. Then I got a call back to come and work on Can I for the deluxe. And it was like a new version or something like that. I came through and did that, and like, wow, like this is really happening. I'm writing for Kehlani, like one of the top 10 female artists in the world. Not telling nobody about it, because anybody I tell, they're not really feeling me. Wow. They don't even see it. Mm-hmm. Sure you are. Like, sure you are. Hey, bro, you got work this week? I'm like, I'm telling y'all, bro, I'm about to quit. You know?
Yeah, it's such a liberating feeling.
It's such a feeling. Like, what? I finally.
How long have you been free? Like, you know, full-time artist?
Man, full-time artist? I got fired. Like, when I had to get fired to be a full-time artist.
Word.
From working that job on the beach where they were telling me.
How long ago was this?
That was like right before COVID hit.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
It's been only a couple years.
Only a couple years of like doing it full-time, not working.
Congrats.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? Thank you, man. We here.
We here.
And shout out to her for taking the opportunity on my pen, because it's a relationship that's like lasted.
All this that we're talking about, by the way, shout out Kehlani and everybody else.
Yeah.
Louis Elastic, everybody. This is all relationships.
Yes.
You're exactly where you need to be. You know what I mean? And going into that, your tour coming up, on the last note, how do you feel going into this tour? You know, tell us the name of the tour.
The tour is the How's My Driving tour. Right. And I'm touring with Leia.
She's fire.
She's gonna be support for me.
Played her on the show.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
She's hard. And it's my first tour ever, bro. And I visualized this so many times. Me and my cousin Paris, we used to like visualize us being on stage. Like, we put a blanket over our heads at my grandma's house and just like, you feel me? Just pretend like we're on stage. And she's such a cool writer and artist. We got hella musicians in my family. I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? It's more writers and stuff. They're just like chilling on it. And she was one of the ones that kind of showed me how to visualize things early. I'm like, what are you doing up under your blanket? She's like, oh, I'm just visualizing myself on stage right now. I just came out with Missy Elliott. She going crazy. We going crazy. I'm like, yo, let me see what this concert is hitting for. So I'm visualizing now. I'm like, yeah, I came out with Usher too. You know what I'm saying? I came out with Usher right after, oh, word. You know what I'm saying? We doing this back and forth. And to be here right now announcing tour, it's still surreal. Because here I'm playing back those visions that I had when I was 8 and 9. Me and Paris, and like, it's going to be a reality soon.
It's
Like
a
it's here.
moment.
You
The
know?
first tour is the most special. You get to elaborate and connect with your people. I'm telling you, they've been sitting with your music, and you're gonna have that time to connect with them one-on-one and in person. Meet them, connect, and tap in.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
So, man, I just want to congratulate you. Just know that Selection is a home. We're about to also get into some tracks from you soon. You're about to do a live session here, and I'm just happy that you're back, man. So this was a long time coming. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
All
bro.
right. Once again, Phabo. So Aquarius, Selection Records, over everything. Apple Music One. We'll catch y'all soon. Bless up.